Hey everybody, it's your girl Nina. So today we're going to talk about how toxic women destroy good men. So before I get started, let me give y'all my little disclaimer, because y'all know how y'all act. Either once we get on this topic, you're going to have three type of people. You're going to have the person that's not healed and still operating from a toxic perspective. So more than likely that person's going to feel like they are being attacked. Number two, you have that person like me that's continuing on this healing journey from day to day, moment to moment. So I'm a little more open-minded when people say stuff that I might just need to say ouch to and address myself a little bit, to kind of, figure it out. Then you have the third person that have advanced in their healing process. So those type of people will hear the conversation and try to gain an understanding from a different perspective because they're more mature in their healing process. So why I wanted to talk about this toxic women damage good men is because I'm a single mom. I have three sons, one daughter, and I was a toxic mom. So most of the time when I'm talking about me first. So if you get offended, hey, that's your choice, but I'm talking about me. I was really a toxic mom when I look back on me raising my children because I wasn't healed. So I raised my kids from a broken perspective. Not only that, I was in the streets. So majority of the time I was around dudes, guys. So when I started raising sons, then I raised my son based on mob mentality, that street mentality. So it was certain things that I wasn't just going to allow raising male children. So with that being said, that not allowing them to be in their feelings or emotions, really not giving them chores and structure because I'm in the street. So I got money to pay people to see about them. So a lot of the nurturing and the things that they needed from me, I was emotionally unavailable. So the reason I was emotionally unavailable because I didn't know how to love because I never witnessed love for myself. So growing up in survival mode, that's how I raised my sons. So they had everything. They had access to everything. They went everywhere they wanted to be. Most of them was born athletes, so the sports was their major thing. So I made sure they had the cleats, to whatever need, and I also made sure that they had men around them, positive male role models, so that way they could get what they need from a man from the cats that I ran with or coaches or whatever. But like I said, I was emotionally disconnected, so I couldn't give them what they needed for its nurturing. I always made it a point to be the type of woman that they could respect, but I didn't give them the emotional part of what they need. So as them being adult men, I see the struggle with them in relationships because it's more so they're providers because they never see me allow a man to live over me. And they have seen me disconnect in relationships like, hey, it's over, just like that. So, and I think that damaged them a lot because it made them kind of like not have trust for women because it's no matter what the guy was doing, they seen it as he doing his thing. He taking care of us. We got everything good. But because I was so emotional disconnected, I couldn't give him what he needed. So at that point, my positions in relationship was how we gonna advance. For us, if we hustling, how we gonna advance this hustle? Whatever we doing, how we gonna advance that? So being unemotional attached, that's what men need. So when you're dealing with a female that's about her bag and her money and all of that because she's wounded coming from a broken place and she don't know nothing else, then he lacks in those areas. So that's when, if he's not a man, then he don't know how to deal with that. He either gonna manage you into position or he gonna go find someone else to hang with. I didn't deal with a lot of cheaters, like I said, because the business override all of that. But it really damaged my sons because I really be looking at them like, you not gonna find no woman because they want a woman that's strong. They want a woman like their mama that's a go-getter. They want a woman like that, but they attract projects because that's not who they are. That's just what they seen me do. So I damaged them by really making it appear that I didn't need a man, but I was needy at the same time. So I wanted the male structure in the house. I wanted all of that, but when it didn't go according to how I felt like it was flowing, then it was a disconnect there. So just seeing them in relationships, very much emotional detached, like me. They'll provide, they'll make sure you're good, y'all gonna have fun or whatever, but they not finna give you that sulfur side of them. So like I say, I was a toxic mother during that stage. I'm doing better now and I'm able to talk to them when I see them in relationships, when I see those patterns, so I could tell them where that came from with them seeing me having to be so strong for so many years that it wasn't a good thing. I don't want to be strong. I didn't desire to be like the head of the house or a single mom or stuff like that. I was just so damaged that I didn't know how to be what that person I was with needed. So it appeared that I had it all together, but at the end of the day, I was real broken and didn't know how to love or stroke the ego or none of that. Even when it came to sex, I was so emotionally detached that if we had sex, it was a good time, but it wasn't mandatory for me. So, and that's how I live my life, because just not having those type of nurturing woman type of tendencies, I just never seen sex or none of that as something that was the key to hold the relationship, because I provide more than that. But at the same time, always held a man in high regards. So if I dated you or if we was in a relationship, then most definitely I have the utmost respect for you, and I'm going to show that respect before my sons. I will never talk down on a man, disrespect, go head to head with a man in front of my sons, because I'm raising male children. So with that being said, that's why I say we damage our sons when we are not healed. And those sons grow up to be men. And then these are the men that's dating your daughters now. And then on the flip side, I don't even want to talk about the type of females y'all raising now, because I tell my sons, those are projects. Those are assignments. Those are not women. Those are nothing that you want to consider marrying, because a lot of the women are raised from broken women who refuse to heal, so they end up growing up together, and the kids end up meeting you where you at, so now you got two females in competition. One thing I made a point that my kids would never catch up to me. So when they start going outside, I came inside. That's just me. You ain't gonna see me when my kids out there doing their thing. You ain't gonna see me nowhere doing my thing, because that's a sign that I need to elevate to something else, because the goal is to continue to see your kids grow. So in order for them to grow, you gotta grow and expose them to different things. So I'm gonna talk about some traits of toxic women that we don't never want to admit. I see a lot of posts about ain't no good men and this and that. And for you to say it's not no good man, you have to have experience every man, because you can't put that on your experience with men, because it's good men out there. It's good men out there that's scared to be in relationship because we done traumatized, because we got them when we were broken, but they were good men. So we destroyed them because we, for once, if you haven't had that good relationship with your own mother as a woman, and she never really instilled in you those woman characteristics, and you have to pick and choose other women in a community, your teachers or whoever, and you got to pick from each woman and develop who you gonna be, then that's like a struggle. That was my situation. I ran away at 15, so I was in the street. So my boyfriend mamas was my mama, or my friend's mama was my mama. So I dealt with a lot of different types of women, so I picked and choose what I wanted to carry on from each woman. And that goes back to what I was saying. We really don't understand, because we're adults and because we have kids and because we nurture, and because not nurture, because we provide and we create a safe environment, and they dress to kill and they doing this and that. We think we're doing a good job, and really a lot of times we're not. Because the one thing about a male child is he has to grow up and be a man. So regardless to how you feel as a woman, the characteristics of him being a man came from God. So God instilled all those characteristics in him to be a male child. So when you are female raising a male child and don't have no respect for him, then you, like the first one, sow that seed of disrespect. If you, a woman like me that's emotionally disconnected from your kids, you make your child emotionally unavailable. And if you are a person that experienced a lot of abuse in your life, then you abuse your sons. So some of y'all call y'all sons bitch ass niggas, excuse my language. Some of y'all run up on y'all sons, be all up in their face and stuff like that, not realizing that this is a male child. So that's one thing I never did with my sons, is I never disrespect them. I always see myself raising young men that was going to eventually be men. So I had to handle them a different way. So I'm not finna disrespect them. I'm not finna talk to them crazy. It's just certain stuff that I'm not going to do. And then when they started bringing girlfriends home, then I had to start training them to take care of my sons like men. So, oh, matter of fact, let's talk about that. Who get the plate first? So let me tell you my perspective on that. A lot of women say they're going to feed their kids before they feed their men or whatever. My thing is, I'm going to always fix the man plate. If I chose a man to be in my house, that means I respect him to a high degree. And he's somebody my kids could learn from, somebody that my kids could go to when they got stuff that they need to deal with that's beyond my pay rate. So I'm going to always fix the man's plate in the house first. Because for one, you're showing a level of respect that he is the head of the household. You hold him in high regards, and then you're teaching your children how to respect this man at the same time. So yeah, even if I fix his plate, put it to the side or in the microwave because he's not ready to eat, he's going to always get the first fruit. Because what I'm doing is I'm holding him in high regards in the home to create stability and structure in the home. See, now my kids, they grown now, so they all grown and grown. So if I'm putting them before my mate, then that's why a lot of times relationships break up once the kids get older enough, or y'all don't have nothing in common or nothing to talk about because this man feel disrespected. And then y'all wondering why he over Shanae house on the block, because she gonna make sure he got steak and eggs and grits with her food stamps. She gonna make sure she fixes plate. Her kids outside playing. She gonna create that peaceful environment for this man because that's what she desire. Once we get him, we feel like we ain't gotta do that. So it's very important, ladies, if you are especially married, he might not want you to fix your plate, whatever, that might be some minor. He might not be that type of cat. But always hold your man in high regards around anybody. I don't care who he is. I don't care if he ain't got no job, no money, none of that. You chose him. That's your dude. So it's your everything in your ability you need to use to make sure you hold that man in high regards. Now, what y'all argue about and talk about behind closed doors, that's fine and dandy. That's between you and him. But in public, outside, hold that man in high regards. Another way we damage good men is because we messy. We messy, so we talk about our friends, pillow talk. Half the time he don't care, he's not listening. We pillow talk about our friends. We talk about what they doing, what they got going on. And if your dude ain't really that invested in you, then do you know he start finding interest in that person that you threw under the rug? Because you talking about what she doing and what you ain't gonna do, and what she do when she got a dude and what you ain't finna do. And you done introduce him to somebody that's might be on this level. Because do you understand, sometimes we as women, we be holding up somebody else's good thing. Because what you won't do, Sister Susie over there already equipped to do that. Because it's a different than a wife and a girlfriend. That's why I tell people, don't try to date me. I'm not a girlfriend. I don't know how to be a girlfriend. I have no desire to be a girlfriend. So you might not get what you need from me. You might not get nothing out of me as a girlfriend because that's not who I am. Now I'm a wife. I produce on a wife level. So it's easy for me to be single because I only know how to do what I know how to do. So I don't adjust based on the type of guy I'm dealing with because that's who I am. So I'm not going to date no man who don't deserve for me to serve him. So that's just why I'm single. So, and sometimes we have good men and we won't fix their plate. We won't wash their clothes. They go work all day. We at home doing absolutely nothing because he might ain't said nothing, but might not. So you feel like he ain't tripping. So you ain't got to get nothing done. He come in the house, you ain't even cook nothing. And just no structure, no respect, no desire for him. So now you're taking a man that's used to a mama that cooks, cleans, probably fixes plate, instills some values in him. He probably had a dad or not male men in the community that taught him how to fix stuff, work, get a job, stuff like that. So you pretty much got a stand-up guy. But because you so toxic and you dealing with a bunch of females that's toxic, so and yo, girl, I ain't fixing him nothing to eat. Girl, when he get here, he'll figure it out or whatever. Shoot, I cooked yesterday. I ain't finna wash these clothes. I don't feel like washing these clothes. Shoot, he could wash his own clothes. I ain't finna do none of that. So these are the reasons why your men are looking for different prospects. Because whether he say something or not, if you choose this person, you want to be the best version of yourself. So you damage a man that came from a structured environment that grew up with that and used to that. But because he into you, he sees some value in you and he want to see you at your best. He's working, producing, paying the bills and all of that. And you won't even get off your tail because you're too broken to realize what you have. You're too broken. So I done been there too. I done had some good men. But because of my mentality, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to settle down. I done had quite a few proposals. Men wanted to marry. I'm not, because I'm married to the streets. So that was my toxic mindset during that time. I'm married to the street. I got to get this money. Your check come every 2 weeks. I'm making this in 2-3 days, so it's the mentality. So I created environments that wasn't good for the guys that I dated. So then that's when you ignore his needs. I was one of those. When I came out the streets and started doing hair, my last marriage, we got divorced, and he told me the reason why he cheated on me often, because I call him a serial cheater. He kept him a little chick. But he said the reason he cheated on me because I didn't stroke his ego. So that made me have to figure out, was like, stroke your ego? I ain't never had to stroke nobody's ego, because just think, I dealt with cats in the streets. We was in the streets together. We was getting money together. What ego are we stroking? We finna count this money and see what our next move is. So it was never knew that I had to tend to him. I'm in a hair shop, so I done went from hustling on the streets to hustling clients. So I'm in a hair shop 12 hours a day. I met him in the hair shop. He was getting his hair cut by one of the barbers. We started talking. He was in construction. He built me a little boutique in my garage. So we just started talking from there. My kids thought he was a good candidate. I was single, so we started talking, ended up getting married. And I wouldn't stop working. I would cook, take the food to the shop, and he would come up there and eat. Or I would be at the shop, like I say, Monday through Friday, 12 hours a day. We supposed to have a movie date, we going to the movies, we going to dinner. He called, what time you off? I say, I'll be out done by 6. He called at 6:30, what you doing? Man, I end up taking 2 more clients. We come up here, just grab something and come up here. How many times you think he was going to deal with that? So it ain't always the man's fault. I just wasn't willing to stop what I was doing to even cater to this man. So I wasn't even ready to be a wife at that point. I just liked the fact that he came in helping. He took the load off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to, in between my clients, go run my son to practice, do this, do that. He came in doing that. So that was like, woo, I got me a husband, which really wasn't a husband, because if you really look at it, I turned him into an assistant. So him being a man, he wasn't finna have that. So what'd he do? Started cheating and all that. Did I have time to figure out him cheating? No, because I'm in a hair shop, focused on what I'm doing. And it wasn't until the females started calling the hair shop to let me know that they was cheating with my husband. So I'm like, okay, so if you cheating with him, then I ain't got to get off the cook. Then you handle that, because I'm trying to get this money. I hang up the phone. That was it. So that's how I created my toxic behavior damaged this man, because what he desired for me and who he seen me as, I didn't see myself as that, and I didn't feel like I had to do nothing different to keep him. So that was one of my downfalls, because I just wasn't emotional available for him, and I just wasn't. And I can't blame him for what he did. And that's why I say cheating is not a disclaimer for me. And the reason I say cheating is not a disclaimer for me, because if I know your needs in a relationship, if I know your desire is affection, love making, and a hot meal, and I can't provide that for you, and I'm not willing to do nothing different to make sure that happens for you, then I can't blame you for going to get it somewhere else. You told me that was your need in this relationship. That's why it's important to court people before you date them. Even now in this dating situation, I don't date. I don't date people, because I could talk to you 3 times on the phone and realize this not going nowhere, because I'm not trying to build nothing. I'm 56 years old. Either you know what you want, you don't know what you want. I know what I want. And if you're not a provider, and if you're not a team player, then we can't do nothing together. Because if I don't care how much money you got, I don't even care what kind of car you drive. I don't care what you got going on. If you're not willing to share what you have, if we can't come together as a team, ain't nothing emotional about me finna wake up to even entertain you. So based on conversations, I just know you're not for me. I'm just not that type of female. So I'm fine with being single. So don't get caught up in all these reels and all that stuff telling you women who single is broken, toxic. No, sometimes you just prioritize yourself and you just don't want all of that extra. When you know what you want and you know what you need for you, you wait on that. I don't have to test the waters or date you, sleep with you and all that to figure out if you're a keeper. No, I know you're a keeper when you're going to stay. So, just going back to just realizing as females, we never admit our shortcomings in a relationship. I learned early on in life as a teenager, a wet pussy and a dry purse don't mix. That's what the cats told me I used to run with. You can't be in your feelings, you can't be emotional. And the only way you're going to be able to stack your money and get stuff done is keeping your legs closed. So I learned that from the streets. That when niggas ain't gonna talk about what they ain't getting. See, so keep your legs closed and they gonna pretty much do whatever it takes to try to get that. So I learned that, like I said, in the streets. A lot of times we are so emotional and we validate everything based on sex. Sex is, what, a good 45 minutes with foreplay? After that, y'all can't even drive in the car and have a real conversation for 30, 40 minutes because you done based your whole relationship based on being in the bed. Outside of the bed, y'all have nothing in common. So what makes me want to get in the bed with you is how we produce during the week. You know, how we produce on a daily basis. What's the structure? What's the foundation? What's the goal? What's the plan? Now, that's what I'll get excited about. Just having a man around me, that don't excite me. I don't even have to have females around me. I don't have to. I function real well by myself. I know when to insert myself and stuff and when to bag out of stuff because I done healed from a lot of those toxic traits I have. So, and then another form of being a toxic woman, damaging a good man, is when you become controlling. As soon as you get with this man, now you're in competition with his mama. You knew how much he loved his mama when y'all started dating. You knew he was going over there every Sunday. You knew her birthday, he was going to go over and beyond. You knew everything, how he felt about his mama, and then here you come trying to change that. Why we got to go every Sunday? Or you signed up for that. The best thing you could do with a man that love his mama is try to get an understanding from her on how to treat her son. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not just a good candidate because that conflict and confusion is going to always create chaos. So if you try to pull a man from his mom because she know you might not be the best thing for him, just the way you wired or the way you showed up, and then he take your side because he honor the marriage vows and all of that, you have to bring peace to that because it's a desire for him to be with his mom. So it's going to always be that. And his friends. Why are you intimidated about a man being with his friends? Let that man go be with his friends. Because if you're doing everything that you should be doing as his woman, then ain't no reason for him to be out there doing nothing. Most men know how to step away from stuff that's not going to put them in a bad situation when they have a woman that they love, honor, and respect. So you ain't even got to worry about him cheating and doing all of that, but you put all this extra stuff on them. And like I said, most of that come from the friends or the people you around. I hung around women, even when my ex-husband was cheating on me and doing all the stuff he was doing. I was around women that say, we gonna pray. We gonna intercede. Quit looking at the behavior. This is what you gonna have to do. These are your faults. This is what you don't have to accept, but you still gonna have to do this. You know what I'm saying? So during that process, I was learning long suffering, how to suffer long, because I had to learn how to get in touch with me. So it took God to send me a cheater for me to realize that I was emotionally unattached and everything that he said was valid. So I couldn't come to the defense against that. But when he when the drugs came in, see, that was a deal breaker for me because I done sold drugs pretty much all my life. So I'm not dating a dope fiend, crackhead, none of that. So that was the deal breaker for me. So that's why the divorce really happened, because I could deal with a lot of stuff because, like I say, I understand. I'm not one of them females that if I get with you and I know you greedy and everything is about you and you selfish and ain't nothing good enough for you, you ain't my type of dude, because I know you're going to cheat because you just have this appetite for everything to go your way. So I'm not one of those females that's finna go out my way to give that to you. So yeah, you're a cheater. You're going to cheat because what you're looking for, you got to find it within yourself. And sometimes as women, we take that on and become that crutch. If you know that man need too much and you don't have the capacity, let him go. Let him go to somebody else who could deal with that. That just ain't your assignment. He ain't your man. And sometimes we marry them ones and knowing that is not good. I used to date, I was so toxic, y'all, for real. I date a guy just because a girl spoke on my name. Now, he could have been somebody that I came in contact with, whatever, ain't never thought none of it. But the fact that you spoke on my name negative about him, didn't that just make me date him? Because now I got to show you who I am. See, that's how toxic I was. Half the dudes I even entertained was because somebody put my name in their mouth. And I don't like that because I don't go around talking about females or what they got going on. That ain't my thing. I really want to see us all win and grow and be the best version of ourselves. But some of y'all just messy. Even now today, I could respond on somebody's Facebook page and females would go in his account and be like, don't talk to her. She used to be married to so-and-so. He got killed. She went through this and she went through that and that. You shouldn't even talk to her. And what that got to do with you? And now the dude looking at y'all like, man, let me really talk to her, because if y'all in my inbox saying, ooh, she's a red flag, let me see what that red flag is. So half of the guys I dated, it's y'all fault. So hey, but back to this toxic women damage good men. We have to do better. We have to do better and quit naming all these names and stuff for these men when we pick them. We pick them, and you attract who you are. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you don't like it or whatever. I attract who I was. When I was out there, when I'm dating, I attract who I am. Now I'm not dating nobody because I ain't putting nothing out there. When I was in them streets, I attracted hustlers because they knew I was about my money. When I went to church, I attracted cats who pretended to be in church, but they really was from that life. So I attracted them because they wanted the spiritual part of me, and then they wanted that hood, make it happen type of female. So on each level, we attract who we are. The problem is we won't come to grips with who we are. So we don't know who we are. So we put it on a man and we highlight all his flaws, that we stayed in a relationship with him and came in agreement with most of them until opportunity presented itself. And another thing, we are the best cheaters. So y'all already know. If a man ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing, he could be doing what he's supposed to be doing, but because you're toxic and you don't feel that you should have that type of man, you end up damaging that relationship and go back and you'll have a good man with a good job, benefits, y'all got a house, car, all that, and you still be creeping with your old school hood nigga. So, look, been there, done that. So, I'm saying we do a lot of damage to these men. So, we have to stop acting like the men ain't this, the men ain't that. We created that. When you dealing with a mama boy, you know he needs to be nurtured. He needs to be catered to. He's used to a certain lifestyle. If that's not your thing, leave that man to somebody who came up under that same thing and know what he needs. Stop holding up somebody else's good thing, being selfish, because you don't want to be by yourself. So, yes, toxic women damage good men. Just like healed women, healthy women, help those same men rebuild. That's why you wonder why he got with old girl and he started producing, because she was healed enough and healthy enough where he could fall up under and be able to process his own trauma and drama, and she gave them space and opportunity to do that. So you have to know what type of woman you are and quit running with all this stuff you hear on Facebook. Everybody desire love. Everybody want to be loved. Everybody want to be with somebody. But we done made it impossible to even come together because we want to control the situation. We want to control the narrative. I don't care how much money you make. My son ain't got to never bow down to your paycheck, because they're going to be able to produce on their own level. So we got to get out of that mentality and being in competition with men and all. That's not your place. The Bible say the man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. A man don't even operate in his full potential of favor from God till he attach himself to a wife. The problem is they start wifing women that's not wives. You can't make a wife. The Bible said the man who finds a wife, which means God put a certain characteristics in a woman that makes her a wife. And just like every man is not a husband. Some of them don't want to be a provider and produce and do the things that are required, be the head of the household. Because when you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she went to work. She went to work. She went to the marketplace. She sold. She had to find linen. She put in all the work. She brought the money home. He protect the house, the possessions, and the family. So when you really look at it, the man stayed home in the Bible days. The woman had more access, but we so, worldly that we want everything under the worldly system. I just want a partner that's going to show up and understand what partnership is. So whether if he's up, then hey, I'm handling the bottom. If he's down, then I'm at the top. So either way, you got to know how to switch roles. It ain't no certain way that it has to be, because ain't no two people the same. In a relationship, me and you could date the same dude and I'm going to get somebody different. So we have to quit making this stuff like it's just black and white when it's not. You got to understand where you are at mentally, physically, and emotionally to be able to even give your best version of yourself to anybody. Because if you lacking financially, then you already struggling. So you're going to struggle in a relationship. If you're mentally unstable, then you're going to be emotionally unattached, or you're going to be too needy. Either one. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand where we are as an individual before we try to come together with someone else. So yes, I was a toxic mom. I was a toxic wife. I ain't never really liked being a girlfriend, because if I'm your girlfriend, I might entertain somebody else because I don't feel like I'm committed to you. So that was back then. Right now, I just don't. If it ain't worth it, I'm not even going to entertain it anyway, because I'm just on a smooth pace where I just want to fall into something, And then if it don't work, then I'll fall back out. But if it worked, then hey, we'll be all good. But I just want y'all to know, we be messing these cats up. And then now we all single trying to figure out where the good man at. Go restore him. Go restore the one you broken. That's all. Go apologize. Say, I'm sorry. I was working with what I had then, but now I'm better. So I want you to forgive me so you could do better with her. Because men be just as broken as we are. So that's a little bit about my story and why I feel that way. So comment, share, let's have a discussion. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.